In the sweltering heat of Owerri, a city in southeastern Nigeria, a legendary and devastating conflict between two notorious confraternities, the Vikings and the Black Axe, reached its boiling point in 2018. The war, which had allegedly been brewing since 2014, was a complex and multifaceted one, with various factors contributing to its escalation. According to some sources, the conflict originated within the walls of Imo State University, where tensions between the two groups had been simmering for years. However, others claim that the war was officially ignited after the Vikings took down a prominent Black Axe member, known as Walking Benson. This event is said to have sparked a chain reaction of violence and retaliation, which would ultimately claim the lives of several alleged cultists. One of the most notable incidents during this period was the bringing down of Angel O'Brien, a notorious cultist, at Imo State University. This event was followed by the demise of Chikalaba, another infamous cultist, at Imo State University Junction. Furthermore, J-Boy, an alleged cultist, was also brought down at the university's back gate. The conflict escalated to a point where the Black Axe invaded a hostel at Imo State University's front gate, known as Great Star Hostel. The invasion resulted in the shooting of two students, who the Axemen claimed were members of the Vikings, despite lacking concrete evidence. In the midst of this chaos, a tragic incident would change the life of a young man named Clinton forever. As the violence and bloodshed continued to plague the city, Clinton found himself caught in the crossfire, and his fate would become forever entwined with the conflict. The Owerri Confraternity War was a dark and tumultuous period in the city's history, marked by violence, fear, and uncertainty. The conflict would ultimately leave a lasting impact on the community, serving as a cautionary tale about the dangers of cultism and the devastating consequences of unchecked violence. Clinton, a diligent and ambitious student, had spent several years within the walls of Imo State University, pursuing his academic goals with unwavering dedication. Those who knew him during his university days would often describe Clinton as a quiet and introspective individual, preferring to keep to himself and focus on his studies. He had never been drawn to the idea of joining a confraternity, and in fact, had managed to steer clear of such groups altogether. Although Clinton had occasionally entertained the thought of joining the Buccaneers confraternity, he had never taken any concrete steps to pursue this interest. His decision to avoid confraternities was largely influenced by his living arrangements at the time. As a student, Clinton was still residing with his parents, and their supervision had played a significant role in shaping his choices. His parents' guidance and oversight had helped Clinton stay focused on his academic pursuits, and he had never felt the need to explore confraternity life. However, after graduating from Imo State University, Clinton's life took a dramatic turn. It was during this period that he met a friend named Dennis, who would have a profound impact on his life. Dennis was a charismatic individual with a passion for online activities, particularly in the realm of digital entrepreneurship. He had built a reputation as a successful online marketer, and his expertise in this field had earned him a certain level of respect among his peers. Dennis, who had been involved in online business ventures for some time, introduced Clinton to the world of digital marketing. He shared his knowledge and experience with Clinton, and soon, Clinton found himself drawn to the possibilities that online business offered. As they spent more time together, Dennis began to share his thoughts on the importance of building connections and networking within certain circles. He believed that being part of a particular group could provide opportunities for growth and advancement. It was during one of their conversations that Dennis brought up the idea of joining the Black Axe confraternity. Clinton was initially hesitant, having never been interested in confraternity life during his university days. However, Dennis's persuasive argument and enthusiasm eventually won him over. After some time, Clinton decided to take the step and join the Black Axe, a decision that would have far-reaching consequences for his life. Clinton's journey as a member of the Black Axe confraternity began to take shape after he paid the required initiation fee. With this significant step taken, he was formally welcomed into the group. Shortly after his initiation, Clinton made the decision to relocate to Owerri, a move that would prove to be a turning point in his life. In Owerri, Clinton's involvement with the Black Axe confraternity became more pronounced. He became an active participant in the group's activities, and his skills as an axeman began to flourish. Clinton's initiation into the Black Axe had taken place in 2013, and by the same year, he had already established himself in Owerri. The following year, 2014, proved to be a highly successful period for Clinton. He was able to accumulate a significant amount of wealth, which ultimately led to his decision to relocate to Ghana. From Ghana, Clinton's travels took him to Malaysia, where he became increasingly involved in various business ventures. However, it was during this period that Clinton's involvement in illicit activities, including drug dealings, began to escalate. Unfortunately, his fortunes took a turn for the worse, and by 2017, he was forced to return to Nigeria. Upon his return to Nigeria, Clinton established a new base of operations in Owerri, where he set up an apartment that would serve as a hub for organized online fraud. This apartment, known as HK House, became a central location for Clinton's illicit activities, and he began to recruit young individuals, mostly undergraduates, to join his operation. Clinton's recruitment strategy involved requiring these young individuals to join the Black Axe confraternity as a condition of working with him. He believed that this would ensure the secrecy of his operations and foster a sense of trust and loyalty among his recruits. By doing so, Clinton aimed to create a network of loyal associates who would be bound by their membership in the confraternity. However, Clinton's success was short-lived, as he made a critical mistake that would ultimately lead to his downfall. His decision to visit Owerri, a city he had previously avoided due to his involvement in illicit activities, would prove to be a fatal one. This visit would set in motion a chain of events that would have far-reaching consequences for Clinton and those around him. Clinton's return to Owerri was marked by a sense of unease, although he was unaware of the danger that lurked in the shadows. At the time, a bitter and violent conflict between the Black Axe and the Vikings confraternities was raging in the city. This confrontation had been building for some time, with both groups engaging in a series of brutal attacks and counterattacks. Clinton, however, was oblivious to the risks that this conflict posed. He checked into a hotel, intending to spend a few days in the city. This decision would ultimately prove to be a fatal mistake. According to some sources, Clinton's presence in the hotel did not go unnoticed. Some Vikings, who had previously encountered Clinton in Owerri, recognized him and quickly alerted their hit squad. These individuals, fueled by a desire for revenge and a need to assert their dominance, began to track Clinton's movements. Other sources, however, suggest that Clinton's demise was the result of a more sinister plot. It is alleged that some of Clinton's acquaintances, motivated by jealousy and a desire to eliminate a rival, had secretly collaborated with the Vikings. These individuals, who had grown resentful of Clinton's success and wealth, had provided the Vikings with crucial information about his affiliation with the Black Axe. Regardless of the circumstances, one thing is clear: Clinton's decision to visit Owerri had placed him in grave danger. As he went about his daily routine, he was unaware of the threat that lurked in the shadows. The Viking hit squad, determined to eliminate Clinton, had positioned themselves outside the hotel where he was staying. As Clinton stepped out of the hotel, he was confronted by his attackers. The ensuing confrontation was brief and brutal, with Clinton ultimately succumbing to the violence. This tragic event serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of cultism and cult-related violence. The senseless bringing down of Clinton, a young man who had become embroiled in a conflict that was not of his making, is a powerful indictment of the destructive nature of these groups. It is a stark illustration of the dangers that can arise when individuals become embroiled in violent conflicts, often as a result of circumstances beyond their control.